Hello boys and girls, it's Miss Ruffing. I am the STEM teacher at Twin Rivers Elementary. I teach kindergarten through 5th grade. I wanted to talk to you today. It is Friday, May 1st, the first Friday of May, and I was looking some facts up online, and one thing I came across is the first Friday in May is known as Space Day, which I thought was kind of cool. So I wanted to talk to you about some things today relating to space. So the first thing that I wanted to talk to you about is the phases of the moon. We just went through what's called a new moon, and when we have a new moon, you really don't see it in the sky. Between today and close to a week from now, next Thursday, May 7th, is when you'll see the next full moon, which is when the moon will be completely, I don't want to say lit in the sky, but visible. Okay, so tonight, if you happen to be outside and you're able to see the moon, you should just see a small sliver of it, and that's called a waxing crescent. So it's just the start or beginning of a new phase of the moon. And a full phase of the moon is supposed to take about 29 days to complete. So by the end of the month, we should see a new moon again. So I wanted to talk to you about the phases of the moon. The second thing I wanted to talk to you about is the Earth and how the Earth sits on a tilted axis. So the Earth is always at a slant, and it's because of that slant that we have the seasons of the year. So the Earth, and I have a little demonstration which I wanted to show you if I could. So the marshmallow is my sun, okay? And think of my marshmallow for a minute. And I have a straw with a blueberry on it. So if my sun was still where I was holding the marshmallow a minute ago, my straw is always going to be tilted the same direction. So the Earth is always on a tilt. And the Earth just moves around the sun on the same tilt. It never changes. So when we face the sun on the tilt, that causes us to have summer. When we move and we start and we're on the one side of it, we have fall. When we move to the opposite side, we are in winter because we are tilted away from the sun. So that's why it's colder on the Earth. Okay, and then we start moving back towards the sun, or to the opposite side again, I should say. And that gives us spring. And then when we get all the way back around to the other side, that's when we would be in summer because we're facing the sun, and it makes it nice and warm on our planet. Okay, so just talking a little bit about one of the reasons why I wanted to mention the tilt of the sun and the seasons is because we just started the season of spring back around March 21st or March 22nd, right around those 2 days. So because we just started spring not too long ago, we are on that tilted axis, and we're in the process of moving. And once we hit around June 21st, that's when we'll be in the area of where summer takes place. So the tilt that we would be on, we would be facing the sun. So it makes it nice and warm here. Okay? And something I wanted to give you to do for Space Day is a STEM challenge. So when astronauts go to the moon and they land on the moon, they land in a lunar module. It's a little, not spaceship technically, but it has a little capsule that the astronauts are in. And the capsule has little legs on it so it can land on the moon. And the astronauts are able to get out of there through a little door that opens up and go on to the moon. Excuse me. So in this STEM challenge, you can find some of these items at home and be able to do the STEM challenge at home. So if I show you some of the items, okay, you would use straws. The activity actually calls for index cards, but you could use any paper that you could find, even if you try to recycle some newspaper or an old magazine. It calls for a cup, and you could use any size cup. Mine, I used a smaller one because that's what I had available. You're supposed to use mini marshmallows. Now, I did not have mini marshmallows. I had the big jumbo ones. So I cut up my marshmallows and made them smaller so that I would have something closer to a mini marshmallow size. And then I had some tape. So if you're able to find some tape to be able to hold your module together. And what you want to do is use your cards or your paper and your straws and your cup and try to make something that's a little capsule, and you are going to put your marshmallows in the capsule. Those are going to be your little astronaut people. And then you're going to drop your capsule from different heights to try to get it to land and not let the astronauts fall out of the cup. So when I was doing my module, I had to play around with it a little bit. And remember the STEM process. We start with an idea, we think about it, we build an object, and then we work to improve it so that it works better. Well, I definitely had to improve mine. So if I show you what I came up with, let me try to hold it up here. You could see I made a little holder for my cup out of index cards. I gave it some little legs, like a lunar module has little legs that let it land on the surface of the moon. I did put these little pieces on here kind of out of wings, and that's where I used some straws. I taped it onto my module, and you can make yours any shape you want to try to make it. But I practiced and practiced, and I have my marshmallows in my cup for my people, and I have some extra ones in there. And then you want to test it from some different heights and let it fall and try to get it where the people don't fall out. So I tested mine inside and it worked fine. Now I am outside and it's a little windy out here, so I don't know if it'll work the same. It might fall over on its side and we might have some people fall out. I hope that's not the case. But this is my module. I'm going to test it. We're going to see if it works or not. So I'm going to drop it. Okay, so you could see that mine worked pretty well. I didn't have anybody fall out. Like I said, I had to make it a couple of times with reorganizing. And one thing that I had to focus on is something called drag. And what that is you don't want it to fall too fast. I had to make it where the air kind of held it in the, or the wind held it in the air a little bit longer, so that it fell a little bit slower and actually landed on the ground. So the way that I was able to add to the drag and make mine fall slower is I had to put some extra index cards out from the sides of my lunar module to get it to fall a little bit slower. So by adding those little wings onto mine, it helped mine work better. So I would like to give you an opportunity to do this STEM challenge at home. You know, if you want to respond to me, I will have mine available on YouTube. You could reach me that way, and I can see what you come up with. If you want to send me a video, you can send it to my email, which is druffing, ruffing, at mckasd.net. If you get a chance to make one and video it and send it to me, I would love to see what you create. So for Space Day, these are some facts and some activities about space, and I hope you have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.